So, hello, Anastasia. Thank you for this opportunity. Can you tell us a bit about yourself? I would like you to introduce yourself, and so it's better for us to understand exactly what you are doing.
Okay, hi. Well, my name is Anastasia, and I'm a serial tech entrepreneur who lives in San Francisco. I was originally born and started my tech career in Ukraine 9 years ago. And for the past 5 years, I've been building my own companies. Some of them were successful, some of them were not. But for the past year, I'm on my path of building AuraCoins, and it's going pretty great, and I'm really excited what's happening about it.
So, would you like us to tell us more about AuraCoin? It says on the webpage that it's a fully transparent Ethereum-based network of professionals designed to reach their highest potential inside the global workplace. Would you like to go in and introduce AuraCoin?
Absolutely. I think I can talk about it for hours, but I
Great.
don't think we have hours, so I'll be
Okay.
short. Aura, it's a decentralized professional network. Basically, it's designed to help people recruit developers globally. And we're solving a few problems that are happening right now in remote hiring space. Like if you look into Upwork or Fiverr or other similar platforms, they all have similar problems. One of them is cross-border payments and ability to pay globally to talent, and to make it low transaction fee, to make it secure, to make it accessible for people in developing markets who, for example, can't accept dollars. And the other problem is reputation. Like, how do you find somebody and how do you vet their skills? How do you understand that this person is legit, who you can work with? And in general, how can you reach people in those places? Like, for example, in Africa, Latin America, like how and where do you find and where do you connect? And how do you easily can make a transaction and receive work from them. So that's the problems we're solving inside Aura using blockchain and artificial intelligence.
Great. You just mentioned artificial intelligence, and we discussed this last time as well. You told me that you're going to use AI and machine learning to vet the freelancers and then developers. And I thought this was a very good idea. So you told me you're going to check their GitHub and some other metrics. Yeah, would you
Yeah,
like to discuss this?
yeah. There is quite a few projects that's been on the market for a while who are trying to understand and make sense out of data from GitHub of developers. Our focus right now is engineers only who are working with blockchain. So I started from a very narrow
Niche.
niche.
So,
Yes,
so
to make
when
it,
you launch, you're going to go only for blockchain developers.
yes.
Okay.
And we already have the community that's waiting for the platform to be launched, which is pretty exciting. And our value to this market is to understand if this developer is good or not, what technologies they worked with, what is the level of the technologies, what product they worked with for reals, and save this data to the blockchain. So basically, one part is understanding what are kind of skills, what is their level, what is the skill set of the professional, and the second part is making it something that is exists there for sure, for reals, and forever.
So you're going to, before you accept someone, there's a procedure. Not everyone is
Well,
going to be accepted on the platform. Or
it's called, well, everybody is accepted and everybody is welcome, of course. In the recruiting, there is a term that's called vetting, that says that, okay, this person has this specific skills. And then, of course, on our platform, everybody can sign up. It's
it's
not
open.
prohibited.
Yeah.
Yes, but to be able to be searchable, to be able available and accept jobs on a platform, you have to go through a specific process and build your reputation.
Okay. So that's what makes AuraCoin unique. It's a vetting process.
Well, I guess it's one of the keystones.
Okay. You mentioned also this is going to be a utility token.
Yeah, we're designing tokens from the very beginning so they can be used in the platform from the day number one. And even now, companies who are buying our tokens already,
You
they
already
can
have
spend
a
them.
private sale.
Yeah, we started private sale just because we had a lot of clients who wanted to hire engineers, and we had pool of same engineers, and we started connecting them
That's great.
manually. And just to go
Would you
through the whole
like to mention
process.
a few of our clients, or this is you like to keep it as private?
A couple of our clients from San Francisco are pretty famous companies called Chronicled. They're
Okay.
working with IoT. They've been in space for a long time. The other company is Platio. It's a financial company, financial services.
Okay, to be honest, because I've been involved with the blockchain community for almost 2 years now, it's easy to find, and it's hard to find blockchain developers, and everyone wants them now. I mean, everyone, all the ICO founders, they are kind popular now. How are you gonna find these developers and get them on your platform?
Well, one of our strategies that we started using is going through education, and that's a very big part of Aura, is creating the partner network of people who are bringing engineers to the industry. So we find them early, we help them grow, and then they're basically able to work through our platform. And I think the other part is actually building community and ideology behind the community. And that's, I think, what is different from blockchain engineers and just other engineers in the world, is that people who are really deeply involved.
By this, it's not a new technology.
Well, it is a technology, but behind the technology, there is this conception that the way financial systems work, the way money work, it's broken. Like it's not the system that is efficient, and we haven't questioned it for 300 years, like since we invented gold and then papers that we were exchanging for gold. We haven't really asked, maybe this is not the way it should work. Maybe banks, it's not that efficient, right?
Yeah.
And blockchain,
You
like
mean
Bitcoin,
blockchain
right?
is not a new technology? You said block.
I'm saying it is a new technology, but it's much more than that.
Okay.
So people who are getting involved in blockchain, they not just want to learn like, like you would learn PHP, because you know that if you learn PHP, you can get a job, and it's a
You
skill that's
mean
paid on the
that
market.
there's a philosophy behind the developers, that they want to change the world? This is what you mean, I
Yeah.
believe.
Yes.
This is exactly what you mean, and I agree with you. So, that's a good point.
And like we are coming to this market from the same point. Like we want to change the world through changing the process of employment globally, and abilities to earn money globally, and abilities to connect with companies globally. And we are distributed from the day number one. And compared to what's happening right now in recruiting and marketing and hiring, I think I can tell it's a disrupting of the market.
I believe it is, and actually, even that it sound ridiculous to us that some people don't even have a bank account in a few countries like Africa that you mentioned before. I believe this is a
Exactly.
good, even without a bank account, you just open a wallet and open an AuraCoin, and from then on you can work without anything else.
You got it.
Yeah. Okay, so let me get one of the questions we discussed. Are there any other ways you're going to use AI and machine learning other than the vetting process?
Well, yeah, our goal in the
Because you
future,
mentioned, you talk a lot about AI on your webpage, actually, yeah.
our goal in the future is to match person with a job in a perfect and efficient way, which means that you don't have to go through 100 open positions, or as a company, you don't have to go through 100 engineers who are available. You perfectly match your position at this moment. And the algorithm will be based both on hard skills of the person, and we call it soft skills. It's basically the cultural match, and
Soft
it's
skills? What
rising
do you mean
trend.
by soft skills?
Soft skills.
Yeah, what do you mean by that?
It's a professional culture. It's an ability. It's like the communicational culture. It's ability to work remote. It's
Ah,
personality. It's some
psychological.
things, you know.
You're
It's
gonna
like,
make psychological tests, let's say.
you know, it's a difference. Like when you have two people, like let's say we have two blockchain engineers. The both of them have 2 years of experience, like in the future, right? Working with Solidity. How, like, one will match you, one will match your team, and the process will go really fast, and you'll be happy with the result, and the other one won't. And right now in the market, in hiring, HR person usually decides. So it's a very human factor. You know, it's based on some, and like in hiring, it's called cultural fit, and that's what makes hiring efficient. Is that specific aspect that you understand that this person will be perfect for your specific team. And our idea is to learn as much as we can about the matching process, and which, because we have a review system afterwards, so we know from the very beginning what skills were matched for the company and for the employee, and then we have the review based on the transaction that happened. So we know if this kind of person is good with this kind of position. And the more data we have in the future, the better we can train our algorithm to understand what people will match what companies.
Exactly. So, and there's also a very famous quote saying, hire character and train skills. So actually,
Yeah, that's very
that
true.
fits your.
That's very true.
Okay, what are the future plans? Let's say you just started, you have a few developers, and what's the future plans? You're gonna get anything, any other industries other than developing?
Well, our focus is engineers, and it's a pretty big global market. And I think we might expand into other tech professions that we will be able to assess well. Um, But like, for example, talking about designers, you know about Behance, right?
Yeah.
So this is a big difference about the way you choose an engineer and the way you choose a designer. Because when you choose a designer, you have to look at the portfolio, and it's all about visual representation and about, do you click with this designer or not? But when it comes to engineer, there is no emotional aspect about code. Code either good or bad. It either has bugs or it doesn't.
Yes, but if you are not a technical person or a programmer, how can you know if the code is good or bad?
You mean when you are hiring?
Yeah, exactly. Let's say someone goes on the GitHub and checks a few. How can you do that?
Well, that's why we are building this visual profile with a skill set and a level of the skills to make it easy for the companies to hire engineers, and to make it much more transparent and smooth to be able to decide if this person level is enough or it's not. Because, you know, as a founder of the company, sometimes you look for senior engineers, sometimes you look for junior engineers, and you usually pay HR or a recruiting agency to prove that this person is on that or on this level. And that's the part which.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes HR directors have no idea about the technical persons, and they say, he looks good. Let's hire him.
Yes, exactly. And there's a lot of waste of time in this, and a lot of waste of money. That's why it takes so long to hire. That's why there is so much bad experiences. Like, I hired a lot of engineers just because they looked good, but then we worked together and the job would be really bad. And I've been through this process, and I really personally feel it.
I think everyone had a similar problem. I believe in the future we won't have HR directors or an HR department. Actually, it's going to be a very different recruitment process. It's going to be very different. We're going to have AI. AI is going to replace the HR. But that's my opinion.
I think so too. I think HR will be more on the side of helping to build the culture inside of the company and to sustain it and to ensure that every person can grow professionally. But also, on the other hand, like the part of Aura is a professional growth because we have educational aspect, and based on your skills, we're always offering you some kind of upgrade of your skills through education. And like you can do it as an HR person in the company if you have like 20 employees, right? If you have 100 employees. But what if you work with 1,000? And usually in the companies where it's 1,000 employees, there is like a huge department of HRs that is 20, 30 people. So they'll be able to cover everybody. And a lot, like already, even now, there's a lot of software that helps you to ensure engagement and satisfaction of employees and their professional growth. So we're already getting there.
Actually, let's rephrase what we said. There's going to be HR, but there won't be any recruitment. The AI is going to replace the recruitment.
Right. So yes, I agree with that.
Okay, so let's discuss something about the general question. What does cryptocurrency future look like? So as you live in San Francisco, I know that you've spoken at a few events. What do you think about the future? What's going on?
Well, I think it's one of the most interesting questions because nobody knows, and you can't really say now. I think it's either going to be massive adoption through developing countries, where the trust in the system, especially in financial system, is very low, and people are looking for the ways to accept and exchange assets fast and easy. And those countries will just explode the market.
Like it could be mention a few countries, like Venezuela.
Yeah, I think Venezuela, but that's it's like a smaller countries. But think about what if India starts using it? What if Africa starts using it? What if Russia and Eastern Europe will start doing it? Like, think about millions of people, like 100 millions of people.
I think
who
that
will be exchanging.
These countries, the big countries you mentioned, like India and Russia, it will take time for them to get into crypto and embrace it. But I believe countries like Estonia, Singapore, very small countries like Estonia, Singapore, or even Israel, that are a bit of software friendly, are the first ones to embrace it. That's my opinion.
Yes, for sure. I think it's gonna be growing through the small countries that are already tech savvy. But if we're talking about massive adoption, it's gonna happen later when more UX designers will come to crypto space and blockchain space, and we'll start finally designing good products, not something where
exactly
it's impossible to understand how to use.
I mentioned
like, honestly, I was trying to use my Ether wallet yesterday, and I did it before, and I'm like, oh my god, how do I sign in? And I'm a tech person, I'm like, oh my god.
What client do you use? Which client do you use?
MetaMask.
Oh my god, okay. And even you are a tech person.
Yes, and I was like, how do normal people supposed to understand?
I had a problem a few months ago to how I'm going to switch the accounts on MetaMask. I was playing with CryptoKitties, and I was like, oh my god.
Yes, exactly. This is so complicated. Like, so far, the best product is Coinbase, and they're not decentralized, right? So,
okay, that's another discussion.
Yes, so I believe that in the future, it's possible that we will have a lot of assets for a lot of services and products could be exchanged for cryptocurrencies, just because it will be more efficient. And I do believe that we might switch, in some countries, some government processes to blockchain as well, like voting, for example.
Like what?
Maybe we're
voting.
Voting, yeah. And I also think that it's even possible, like, that the whole conception of decentralization will come in place in like 10 years globally. Because it seems like, centralized systems are too unstable, and like every crisis just shakes up the whole economy of the whole country on every level, and this is not the way it should be. So I do believe that cryptocurrency, blockchain, and the whole idea of decentralization is going to be our future.
Okay, so the other question, my next, you actually answer a bit of this. What will lead us to a mass adoption? You mentioned bringing on UX designers.
Yes, bringing UX designers.
Other than that, what else can we do? Let's say today, what else can we do as a community to embrace mass adoption?
Well, I think blockchain community is incredible in terms of sharing knowledge about the ecosystem and about the technology, about what's happening, and really educating and empowering a lot of people to get involved. And I never saw it before in any other revolution because it feels like it is a revolution. And just the amount of workshops and YouTube videos and communities and groups and Facebook and Telegram. Yes, and conferences is enormous. And I think education and just massively talking about it and showing good products, that's what's really important for this industry right now, is showing results and showing that we're not just doing ICOs, we're not just selling future, right? We're doing something that is really working.
So building good products. I
really like to see working applications. Yeah.
Building good products that are gonna last, like AuraCoin, or there are a few others. I really like basic attention token Brave. I've been using it. It's a very nice product. So we need to build more products that are gonna be with us in the next 10 years.
Yes, for sure. We need to see something that is working.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you, before we leave, a few personal questions so people can know the founder of AuraCoin. I do this every time. So
sure.
I'm going to ask you a Peter Thiel question. What is something you believe that nearly no one agrees with you on?
I was thinking about this question, and I have this interesting part about my personality is that if I believe something, people around me start to believe it too, just because I convince them. But I guess one of the things that is not too popular globally is that I think that every person comes to this world with a specific mission, and at the same time, everybody in the world are connected with a global mission. And it is our personal challenge to understand what are we best at and make ourselves the best in this aspect, and help others next to us to also grow and elevate on that level. Because I feel like we are, as a humanity, here for something really interesting that we can do. So I guess that's my belief about.
Yeah, but that's a popular belief.
I guess so. It's becoming more popular now. If you saw Sense8 by Wachowski sisters, not brothers.
What's that? What's the name of that?
Sense8.
Sense8. Is that a movie?
Yeah. It is a short TV series.
Okay.
About how people are connected through the different countries.
Let me write
not
this.
Even know each other.
Sense8.
Yeah.
So I can't check
it.
It's
very interesting. It's from creators of Matrix.
Ah.
So, yeah.
Oh, that's why you said sisters. Okay.
Yeah. And I guess a lot of things that I believe in are just happening really in the world. I just usually believe in them earlier.
That's why you named your company AuraCoin. There's something behind this. It's not that simple.
Yeah.
I mean, okay.
Of course. Yes.
Okay,
Because
so
that's why. Because every person is unique. Every person has their unique skill set. Every person has unique talent and unique gift. And I want to help people to find that gift and to develop that gift.
and you will, hopefully.
Thank you. I hope so. I will.
So what about books? Would you like to mention a few of your favorite books?
Well, one of the books that I'm reading right now is absolutely incredible. It's called Rethinking Money. Um, and I would highly suggest this book to everybody who is involved in cryptocurrency and who is thinking about how the way money work in the world. Um, and
Who
I
wrote
can
this?
send you
Who wrote this? Do you
I
remember
can
who?
send you the links
Okay.
after
And
so you
that's a
can
book.
mention.
Does it mention the token economy, or is it a? It's not a new book.
It is a new book. It's talking about alternative assets. So it's covering the topic.
Like
Uh,
attention is an asset. What do you think? He mentions
Attention.
attention. Yeah.
Interesting. Yes, I think it is.
Does
It
he
is an
mention
asset.
this? Yeah.
Um, what's again? Who mentioned it?
Yeah. On the book, what else does he mention as an alternative asset?
Well, it talks more about the way assets are designed, like the whole first half of the book speaks about the centralized way of issuing assets, and then it's like brings it to the decentralization and local alternative assets. Like for example, there is unique currencies that are designed for in between corporations to exchange their services and products that I never heard about. I forgot the name, but I can look it up for you. Um, and there is currencies that are designed in little communities that are not issued by government. So, and it's been happening for the past like 10 years. It's not, it's not something new. It just wasn't that popular. And I guess Bitcoin right now brought it up to the level where people hear about it and people ask like, oh, so it's not issued by government and it's still money and we can still pay with it. So we're living in a very interesting time.
Should I agree with you. I was discussing this a few days ago that Bitcoin made everyone rethink about the assets and economy and how we're going to tokenize this, how can we tokenize that, how can we it's very interesting.
Well, the other cool book, which I think is more for personal development, is called 10 Habits of the Extraordinary Person, something like that, by Vishen Lakshmiani.
Okay.
And he is a very good author. The way that he designs his book is very interesting, like structured in a very interesting, practical way. Like you read the book and you know how to work with different aspects of your life. Either it's a personal life or it's a business life or it's sport life, your health life. And he has 12 aspects of that. And I would really suggest it to somebody who is who is feeling that his or hers life needs to be upgraded on any level. And that book just gives you the instruments how to work with it.
Okay, I'm gonna write that as well. I'm gonna check it.
And I guess my third book that I would
how
advise
many? Okay.
I love books.
Yeah.
And I think it's not that common to recommend, or maybe it is. Little Prince by Exupery. That's my book of all times.
Let me write
it's
that.
A fairy
Give me a
tale.
second, because
Sure.
Little Prince by. Okay.
Francois Exupery. It's a very famous book, but I don't think adults read it, and I think they should. I read this book about every 3 years, and every 3 years I see something new and something different in this book. And I think every person sees something different and interesting in this book. And I think it's just a good way to train your mind and to see how can you change the angle of something that you read before, and something that can be very simple and understandable by a child, but at the same time can be very complex and talk about humanity and aspects of relationship and love and self-esteem and universe and so many
It's like The
different things.
Alchemist for me. It's the same book that I read every few years.
What was the name of it?
The Alchemist from Paulo Coelho.
Oh, right, right.
Okay,
That's a beautiful book too. Yeah, I
it's
read it, I think, when I was 16.
okay. So every few years, I actually have it in my bookshelf now.
Nice.
Okay, and the last question is gonna be: which person has influenced your life the most? It can be alive. It can be whoever you want it to be.
To be honest, it's a very tough question for me because I think through my life I had so many people that influenced my life so much that I can't really choose one. Um, I mean, besides the pretty obvious question of my parents, um, and people who were my partners in my life, because those who are the closest to you usually influence you the most. And I think I was always much more inspired by people who were close to me than people who were far. Like somebody inspired by Elon Musk or Beyonce or Peter Thiel. I always was more looking into some small things that people who were next to me doing, and I think it's something that is the most valuable to me, is seeing how people are going through their lives every day, doing something absolutely incredible, like raising kids or providing for family or being a scientist in Eastern Europe and earning like $200 a month, but inventing rocket ships. So that kind of people are my personal inspiration.
That's amazing, yeah. So thank you very much. Actually, I would like you to mention your website and when you are going to have the public sale and any other details for those that are interested to check AuraCoin. I will give you 1 minute to mention all the details. And thank you for this interview. It was absolutely amazing, and all the books and I'm gonna check them actually right now.
Great, I'm happy to hear it.
So you can mention AuraCoin, yeah.
Sure. Well, I'm really inviting everybody to check out auracoins.io. We're in a private sale right now. We're gonna be doing pre-sale in the beginning of July, which is gonna have pretty high discounts, but through the whitelist. So we really want to know our investors. We really want to know people who are gonna be involved with our project.
You told me that only aggregated investors in the States can participate.
Yes, of course. We are very, I guess we are very safe and secure about all the legal stuff, and we really want to face and show all of our deadlines and meet all our milestones. So that's why we're not rushing it. We're being, on our timeline of our roadmap. So everybody who's interested in HR tech, everybody who is interested in applications of a blockchain on a global scale, with a mission to educate, with a mission to make workplace more equal, please join our whitelist. Please join our Telegram channel. We are really welcomed for everybody who is joining us.
Okay, amazing, Anastasia. Thank you for this. Hopefully we will talk again in a few months. You can even come to Decentralized, as I mentioned. Thank you, and enjoy your Sunday in San Francisco.
I will. Thank you so much. Okay. Have a great evening.
Bye.
Bye. Baka.